Hello, lovely ladies. Nikki Miklosh Woodley here, co-founder of B2 Business Together, where we work with purpose-driven women business owners who have established businesses to help them smash their business ceiling and focus on sales, profitability without the stress of doing it alone. Today, I want to talk to you about a concept called how many tabs do you have open? This is really interesting to me because actually when I was a few weeks ago, I went to the GP and we were talking about all the things that are going on in life and how there's so many things to focus on and all the cool stuff. And she shared with me this concept of how many tabs do you have open? And that's the question I want to ask you because we are in this culture of busy. We're too busy. We sometimes actually feel really quite satisfied with how busy we were and how accomplished when we got through our to-do list. And the reality is we don't really know where to prioritize. And were those things that we accomplished the most meaningful things? So this idea of how many tabs do we have open is that the more tabs you have open on a computer, what happens? And I wondered genuinely, literally how many tabs you have open or how many tabs you have open in life, okay? What happens with the computer is that the operating system starts to slow down. Have you ever noticed that? Because there's too much happening at the same time. And that's what happens in life. Our operating system starts to slow down. We're not as functional as we could be. We're not actually working as optimally as we could be. And we might not notice it because we think we're doing really well and we're getting heaps of stuff done and that's awesome. But could we actually be operating on a more optimal functional level? Have you ever had a holiday and then realized, wow, actually, I didn't realize how stressed out or tired I was back then? It's exactly the same thing. Or maybe, I don't know if you relate, but for me, I'll start forgetting simple things. There's too many balls in the air. Back in the day, we used to say, I've got too many balls in the air. But, I was thinking about this. Actually, having balls in the air is not such a bad thing as long as you're not a good juggler. Because how many balls can you actually have in the air at one time? For me, it's one or two. So, that's almost a preference than having too many tabs open. Caveat being, if you're a great juggler, it doesn't count because you can have many balls in the air. But reality is we start to do things, we don't complete things fully. We get stuck in this state of overdrive and also feeling like we're always letting someone down. There's always something to be done. And that is because you have too many tabs open. If you're resonating with anything I've just said, you have too many tabs open. The first thing with anything is awareness. So maybe write it down or answer me out loud, depending on where you are. How many tabs do you have open? And let's have a look at what you can do about that. Because reality is we want to minimize. We actually don't want to minimize the tab. We want to minimize the amount of tabs that are open. So first thing you want to do is have a look at what are the tabs that I can close down. It's such a great analogy because honestly, how many tabs do you need open on your desktop? Half the time you could close down those tabs and it's the same with life. You can only focus on one thing at a time. If you have a couple of things that you've got working on, that's fine. But when there's 5 or 10, that's where the consequence of not functioning properly, not thinking properly, not completing as effectively as we could do, even if we think we are. So have a look at what tabs you can close down. Sometimes they're open, we're not even using them, or we don't even remember that we have them open because we've minimized them, but they're still there. So having less tabs open at any given time is going to help you have clarity and function on a better level. Again, everything also links back to what we talked about around taking time out of your business. The more functional you are, the more resourceful, which doesn't always mean doing more, then the more time you'll have to focus on things outside of the day-to-day. So you can do things like question, who can I outsource to? Who can I delegate to? Do I actually need to do this task? Can I just delete it? Pomodoro time is a really good one that we use and we use with our clients, which is essentially batching tasks into 25-minute blocks. So if you've got a morning in the office, you could do 2 or 3 Pomodoro times. Set the timer for 25 minutes, bang out some work, and then have a 5-minute break. Come back for 25 minutes, 5-minute break. It is such a good way to be efficient. And you could maybe focus on one thing in 25 minutes instead of 10 things across a whole morning. See how we're just getting a little bit more efficient with our operating system. There's a couple of things that you can do as a starting point. And I really do think that the biggest thing is awareness around this. It's not about balls in the air. It's about how many tabs do you have open? How many things are you working on so that you can manage this day to day? And I'd love to ask you to do something, please. We know that in business, as women in business, together we're smarter and stronger. We know that it's important to have biz besties, people that get what we're going through and that can support each other. So the favor I have is reach out to someone today. Reach out to a biz bestie or anybody today. It doesn't even have to be a biz bestie. Reach out to someone to check in. How are they going? And ask them, how many tabs do they have open right now? Share with them some of what you've just heard here and have some fun with it. Let's take ourselves lightly. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon.